is poor delegation costing you and your organization? When leaders are not clear, when the directions are not fully discussed with all parties, all stakeholders who need to ensure successful delivery of whatever the task is, there are going to be costs associated with that. And for some organizations, the lack of delegation costs organizations up into the millions. So we are going to talk about how to be clear. What leaders need to do in order to ensure that what they have in their heads, their vision, aligns with the voice so that the outcome becomes what it needs to be. Texting and expecting that our team members just get it because we've texted it is not good enough. Downloading information and not having a real conversation with the person about their skill and will and timelines to carry out whatever it is not good enough. The time has come where we as leaders must be clear. There's no need in complaining about this person is not doing what they're supposed to do, or this person is lazy, lackadaisical, they are not smart enough. A lot of times the problem is not that they're not smart enough, that they're lazy, that they don't care, because I always tell people, think about when someone starts a job. It is rare that that person starts a job and says, I can't wait to mess up. It does not happen. What happens instead is that there is a slow decline in desire for the job, and largely it rests in the hands of those people who are their leaders. So we're going to deal today with one element that leaders can tackle, which is delegation. So before I talk about what we need to do to get there, let's talk about some of the areas that are negatively impacted when leaders are not clear. The first area that is impacted when leaders are not clear is what I call goal erosion. Goal erosion. So what does that look like? Well, a leader has a goal in mind. Let's take, for example, a leader wants to ensure that by the end of this week, we have 50 of these created, 50 of these mics created. That's on the low end, but that's the number, okay? That's what they started the week with, because they said, well, if we get 50 of these out to our customers, we will be able to have them sample them. And then if they sample them and then they're interested, we'll be able to generate more sales. That's the thought process of the leader. Now, in order to get the 50 mics created, they're going to have to bring in their design team. They're going to have to bring in their manufacturing team, the electrical people, the people who are going to have to make sure that it's actually working the way it's supposed to. And then we're going to also have to get together with the distribution group to find out who and where these mics are going to be delivered, that are going to, and probably even the sales and marketing group, to make sure that they're not only delivered in the way that they should be, but the marketing team to help us to figure out where are the hot spots and where are the places that are going to give us the best bang for our bucks as we are letting people sample these mics. A lot of different departments, right? One vision, a lot of different departments have to be involved in order to execute this. Now, as a leader, and if anybody has ever read John Maxwell's 360-degree leadership, it talks about how leadership is not just down, it's across and it's up. That's why it's called 360-degree leadership. So as we're talking about all of these different departments that have to be involved, if in fact the leader is not clear with any of those groups on what's the deadline, what are the specifications, do we want them to be all white, do we want some black, do we want blue, pink, whatever it is, do we want to put these in when we're talking about where they should be distributed to sample. Are we trying to do a B2B play with this? Are we trying to go B2C, business to consumer, or business to business? These are all factors that go into the successful launch of this microphone in these areas. Now, as we're talking and we are meeting with all of these groups, we need to be clear in our own minds of what the goal is, and then B, be able to put vision to voice and communicate to each one of these team members based on what they are to deliver to this project, what the expectations are. If in any of those areas we are not clear, goal erosion happens. So what is goal erosion? Goal erosion is when the actual goal is either minimized, is not delivered in the way that it should be, or it completely implodes. And it happens because the delegation portion, 9 times out of 10 of the times, was not clear. It was not clear. So I wanted 50 of these, but I wanted 10 black, 10 white, 10 blue, 10 yellow, 10 pink. But I didn't say that. I just showed them this. I said, I want 50 of these mics. I showed them a white one and they made 50. And they needed to go out Friday. I got them Thursday night. We didn't have time to even get it done on time to go out Friday. So now we may get it done by mid next week, but we are late. So our goal has been eroded. If you have not already liked and subscribed to the World Class Training, to the Leaders Lounge, please, so that you can stay connected to us, because this is always great information. So that's the first thing. So now the goal has eroded. Why? Because we weren't clear on what we actually wanted. We said, hey, I need 50 of these, but I didn't say I need 5 different colors, 10 of each. I had a situation last week where the executive director and I had a conversation. The executive director didn't communicate to the person under their stead what needed to happen. So as a result, when I got there for what I was supposed to receive, it was not there in time. Why? Because there was not a clear discussion, evidently, between the person with whom I had made the agreement with and the person who she had delegated to carry it out. Goal eroded. Was it actually completed? Well, yes, it was completed, but it cost me time. It cost the person, the ED time, and it also cost the other person time, because now once that person found out what was supposed to happen, that person had to get into action to make what could have been easy and now it's hard come to fruition. So you have got to be clear so that what your vision is aligns with your voice and the deliverable comes to fruition. First thing. Second area of a negative outcome that happens when people are not clear is kind of a great segue from what I just talked about, escalations. So what is an escalation? An escalation is when something is supposed to be handled at one level, let's say the mid-manager doesn't handle it. So now it's gotten escalated, or it's gotten pushed up to another level in the company to handle it, because now it's gone from being a average level of urgency to now it's become a higher level of urgency. So when people are not clear, it leads to unnecessary escalations. how do we ensure that unnecessary escalations don't happen? Well, the first thing that has to happen is that, again, when directions are given, leaders not only need to talk about what the deliverable is, but they need to be in alignment with the person who's carrying it out on timelines. Often escalations happen because people are expecting something within a specific time and they're not getting it. And so now they've gone up to the next level because they haven't gotten it in the time that they may have expected. So when a leader is giving directions to someone who's a subordinate who needs to actually carry out that task, they need to have conversation with the person who's carrying it out, if it's not them, on when the deliverable is. Now, here's an example. We talked on Monday, the expected item is due to the person, not me as the leader, but the person to whom I had the discussion as the leader on Thursday. I have delegated it to team member A. So I'm the leader. Here's the person over here. The deliverable expectant is over here. Team member A, I've delegated that, although I've talked to the deliverable expectant and said, hey, you're going to have this by Thursday. Now, when I delegated to team member A, when should I check in with team member A? Should I wait till Thursday morning to see if they finished it? I hope you said no, because the answer is no. Should you not check in at all? I hope you said, yeah, I should check in. And I hope you said that you should check in either Tuesday or Wednesday morning at the latest. Why? Because if you don't check in and Thursday gets here and either the person hasn't finished it or they've done it incorrectly, an escalation. And the escalation might go above your head. So now you're going to have to answer. So I'll talk about this when we have a delegation training, and we're going to talk about it during our Vision to Voice training that's coming up as well. What you have to do is you have to understand as a leader, accountability and responsibility, right? So you can delegate the responsibility to someone else. But as the leader who has delegated to someone, you always remain accountable. So you have to answer if that thing is not done either on time or accurately. So never wait until the last day, the day it's due, even the evening before it's due, if it's due the next morning, to find out. In fact, what I say is you need touch points along the way with the person to whom you've delegated the task. And the more either sensitive in nature or the more that's at stake financially for the company, the more touch points you need to have. And it's not micromanagement, it's remaining accountable to the ultimate person, even though you have given that other person, team A, responsibility. Escalations. Third thing is this one, which I do not like to do. Time wasted. I heard somebody say once, it has to be done quickly, so go slow. What does that mean? When you have something that needs to happen quickly, you don't want to waste time doing it incorrectly and having to do it over. So you want to go slowly as you are creating or putting together or doing whatever it is, and make sure you do it right the first time so that you're not wasting time. If you delegate a task and that task has to be redone, reworked, reconfigured, only because you either did not clearly communicate the expectation, you did not clearly establish a level of understanding with the other person. And understanding comes through dialogue. It doesn't come through a monologue where you're just downloading information, but you haven't sat back to actually hear them paraphrase. Hey, now let's talk about what you heard. Share with me what you're going to do. Share with me how you're going to do it. Share with me the time frame in which you're going to get it done. It may sound like a lot, but it's not, because again, frustration and rework happen if you have not been clear up front. It is better to take that extra time on the front end when you are delegating to ensure understanding and comprehension on both ends. And also, I love the extra question I've heard at some of the board meetings that I attend, where a board member may ask some of the other people as they are making decisions, is there anything else we need to think about? Because your team member may have more of an insight into what needs to happen to get this done. But if you haven't been proactive in asking them, is there anything else? Then they go off and either they don't do it correctly, or they say, oh, I thought you just didn't want it like that, because you haven't asked that next question. Then that's also, it's on them kind of, but it's also on you. So go ahead and ask that next question. Is there anything else that we need to think about that I haven't mentioned? Is there anything else that you need, either from a human capital perspective or a financial capital or a physical resource in order to get this accomplished in the time that we've set? That way, we're not wasting time. You're not doing a project and then you're stopping halfway through because, oh, I needed an extra cushion for the top of this microphone and we're all out. You didn't ask me if we had everything. So now I got to sit here and wait. This microphone is halfway done for you to go and get some more microphones. Time wasted. Do not like that at all. Now, all of these pieces come together and they result overall in money lost for the company. Even if we get it done, if the goal is eroded, where now we're doing it late, we're wasting money. If we're causing escalations, we're wasting money. If time is wasted because people are sitting waiting for something, money is wasted because we're paying salaries. We may have a customer who's waiting on something. They don't get it. They go with someone else. We're losing money. If something has to get escalated and now a senior level manager is handling something that should have been done at a lower level, money is being lost because now two salaries are involved in something that only one salary should have been handling. We've got to make sure that we are clear on the front end so that there is not unnecessary money loss from either time wasted, goal erosions, or escalations. And leaders, you have the ability to control that. Leaders have the ability to control that. We, in this next quarter, well, we're already 1 month into the next quarter, are going to be really pushing this vision to voice because we want y'all to attend this and really learn how to master the art of aligning what you see, what your vision is, with your team members so that your vision comes into your voice and the execution of what your vision is aligns with what your desired outcome is. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is to be clear. Be clear. And we're going to have to come away from texting our way through it, from emailing our way through it, from just downloading and not having real dialogue with our team members. We've got to follow up better, and we have to understand the differences between remaining accountable and micromanaging and dirty delegation. I hope this was helpful. This is just a taste of where we're going to be headed. You want to be the first to know we are going to be closing this Vision to Voice interest list on the 30th. So make sure that you go and register, add your names now to the Vision to Voice interest list, because you want to be clear. You want to be clear. You do that by going to worldclasstraining.net/grow. That's worldclasstraining.net/grow. And as always, make sure to go and pick up our latest book, which is Unpacking Agape, the 7 Languages of Intentional Leadership. You can get that at worldclasstraining.net/grow. Any new emerging leader needs to have this book. New emerging leaders must have this book. It's worldclasstraining.net/agape. And even if you're a seasoned leader, if you really want to ensure that you are operating as a servant, which is what your first position should be, to serve others, then you also want to get this book at worldclasstraining.net/agape. All right. And people, may have people graduating from business school this year. They're going into entry-level leadership positions. This is a great, great graduation gift. Worldclasstraining.net/agape. We may even be doing something for our grads coming up. Maybe next week I'll launch something for that, because we love our grads. Okay. But Vision to Voice, also Vision to Voice interest list. Make sure you go to worldclasstraining.net/grow for that. All right. Y'all, 2 words: be clear. There's nothing better than clarity between you, me, you, them, they. Everybody needs to be clear. And the best way to be clear is through real dialogue that leads to complete understanding. It's Sunday as I'm doing this, so I'm just going to say, as the Bible says, in all that getting, get an understanding. And the way that you do that is through clarity. So go ahead and add your names to the list, because we're going to start registration coming up soon. That is going to be an in-person training here in Nashville, Tennessee. So Nashville's a great place to come in the spring and summer as well. So plan to come here also. And at the World Class Training Institute, always remember, and at the Leaders Lounge, remember, when you are better, we are absolutely better. Take care and subscribe.